Sarah left. All right, are you back?
We went too far left. I'm sorry.
We started talking about the labor theory of value, and it crashed the server.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like we're saying very controversial things here. Like, until I said labor theory of value, like everything that came before that, I was like, this is very uncontroversial. Can we have like some harsh opinions?
Yeah, give me your harsh opinions about billionaires, Ian, Logan.
Well, yeah. Okay, so this is a relatively recent development for me because recently, like as recently as like a month ago, I was in this like the same position as you. Like, okay, we should highly regulate capitalism. We should just increase taxes, and that should be the max. But I've started becoming more. Are you like familiar with like the labor theory of value and stuff? Like some just basic Marx stuff.
That's what I just said.
Read, like I'm not saying I've like read Capital or anything. You know.
Just explain it quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you don't need to have, or you don't even need to know what the labor theory of value is. Like, is what I just explained. Like, Sarah, like, when did you drop out of that conversation? Did you hear everything I was saying?
Oh no, I didn't hear anything you said.
Oh, so like, to get to a certain amount of wealth in a Marxist perspective, it must by definition be built on exploitation of your workers. Because for you to have $1 billion sitting by the side after your company has done its work, like $1 billion in profit, that's profit that wasn't paid to the workers for the value that they added to what they were doing. So by definition, to accrue that much profit on the side that didn't factor into the system, you had to be not paying that. You had to be not paying the workers what they were actually worth.
Really?
Yeah, so essentially whenever you sell a product for more than it cost, so basically there's two costs to making a product. There's the cost of the labor that you need to pay your workers, and there's the cost of the materials. And when you sell a product for more than that combined cost, you're making a profit. And that profit was generated essentially by exploiting workers. That's the Marxist perspective.
But it doesn't happen that way, right?
That's the idea. Is that
it does have to be?
That's the capitalist way, and you can have markets without capitalism, if that makes any sense at all. Like, I'm a market socialist.
No way are we gonna, like, can you really explain market socialism?
Yeah, it's basically just like a system where you'd have competition in most of the markets, and you'd have just worker co-ops instead of CEOs. So you'd have each employee having an equal say in their work environment. Basically just workplace democracy, but like 100%, or turned up 100%.
So do you have like stockbrokers and stuff?
Dude, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
No, what is the stock market? I have no idea what the stock market is.
Basically,
they like to keep it that way.
Yeah, it's just giving money to companies, hoping that the companies do well, and they give you back more money when you decide to stop investing in them.
Yeah, so Jeff Bezos comes to you and says he wants to do this online marketplace where they sell literally everything, and he wants a lot of investment, and he gets it. Then, because he has all this money from stockbrokers, he can afford to sell things at a loss. And a big part of being able to sell stuff at a loss is not paying your workers well, until he can cut everyone else out of the market, at which point then you up your own prices when you're mostly monopolized, and then you keep making money. And you can only do that because you had the initial stuff from the stockbrokers and from the like exploitation of your workers.
Yeah, that is an interesting, like, how would a stock, like, that isn't even ethical though, like the idea of a stock market. So like, how would you get the resources to start like a co-op in a market socialist society? I hadn't really thought about that.
Yeah,
like, I'm kind of new to like the whole like post-cap. Yeah.
That's all I meant when I said, can you really explain market socialism right now? Is you can't. And let's maybe keep the discussion a little less economic, a little more philosophical, so we can actually say what we're meaning.
Should I actually like avoid economic takes like that? Is that just bad?
Economic takes like what?
Like market socialism?
like calling yourself a market socialist and then not being able to defend it, you mean?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry about that. I'm back.
There's like nothing to validly call yourself then, because you're not a market socialist.
I'm not an anarchist though. Frankly, I'm not yet.
Anarchist isn't more authoritarian than market socialist isn't more authoritarian than anarchist.
Well,
Like,
yeah, I mean,
it's
they're
just not
compatible,
as
but they
far
kind of imply different things. They imply different, like,
No, I think any form of socialism, especially market socialism, is very much a transitionary thing, right? So
Yeah, I guess.
when the majority of people say they're market socialists, they mean this is and should be the next valid step past capitalism, and then after that, we go up or down communism or anarchism.
Yeah, all right. I would agree with that. I'm not like I'm not fundamentally opposed to anarchism or anything. It's just like I'm not convinced. You know what we were talking about last time on the after show, like how do you prevent? I'm just not convinced that isolation and like decentralization of government would actually be like as effective as you think, especially with technology at preventing some sort of, you know. Anyway, sorry.
You cut out.
What were you saying, Sarah?
Oh, I was just commenting that we were really getting into like more like theory, like political theories than like actual like policies and stuff that I actually know something about. I need to go get my charger.
All
Sorry. Wait a second.
Okay.
What were you saying the last 5 seconds, Logan? You cut out.
I was just saying I'm still not like convinced that a decentralized government would still adequately, you know, prevent like you said
You said something about technology?
Yeah, I'm saying that especially with technology and being able to organize without being physically close to one another, that some kind of counter-anarchist movement wouldn't be able to rise up pretty fast.
I think, well, the idea, whatever you think of it, in anarchism is that, like, for one thing, if there's a majority that's advocating it, then we should go in whatever direction they want. But also, the slightly naive point of anarchism is that there is no other society that you could get support for going to, especially going back to. Maybe there's something beyond anarchism that hasn't been theorized yet, but it's very much it's thought of, at least in the 21st century, as an end state.
Yeah.
Especially like an end state in which, if it were executed and there were no outside forces on it acting to destroy it, which they would be doing so that their own workers wouldn't like want to, because all of their own workers would want to participate in the income system. This is the ideal, naive as you may think it, right? Is that any other rival society is going to be trying to oppress it for the sake of it not becoming widespread enough for their workers to join. So once the incomes have control, you're never going to get another movement of people advocating to go to something else.
Okay, I'm not. Yeah.
And you can absolutely counter that. I don't know, like.
I think there's still going to be people who will try to institute some sort of hierarchy, whether it be like racial or.
Yeah, but who's going to go on the bottom of the hierarchy willingly?
No one. That's not how reactionaries work.
Yeah, but how are they going to enforce that over people who don't want to be at the bottom of a hierarchy?
That you could say, like, obviously it's not a direct correlation, but you could say the same thing in our society. Like any reactionary, like fascist movement, they're a minority. That doesn't mean that they aren't a threat to the society. No,
but the reason that's true is because of like the way the government is structured and like among other things like the media is structured and everything, right? Like these are all already imbalanced hierarchies that tend to the right. This is why people say like liberalism is vulnerable to fascism, particularly because it already does like contingently support hierarchies. So you have hierarchies and you just have a bunch of people worming their way through them saying we're just getting here on our merits, we're just getting here on our free speech. And once they're in position, then they can do whatever they want because they're in a system that already does advocate hierarchy.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
If you're in a system that doesn't even have hierarchy, there's no hierarchy for them to worm their way up and get disproportional amounts of power. If you're in an anarchist society, the fact that they're a minority actually does matter.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Is Sarah here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did that make sense?
No.